Hello.
Joe.
What's going on, man?
Man.
Good to see you.
Thanks. I feel a little overdressed. Sorry about
You
this.
look good.
You know.
Oh, look at that.
A little bit of Starry Night there.
Yeah, you're really into that, huh?
Oh, yeah, I got.
That's what's on your phone.
So
as
you
well.
remembered, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on the phone. Starry Night. You know what I like about Starry Night? It's not what Van Gogh saw that night. It's what he felt.
How do you know what he felt?
Because this is not a representation of reality.
Oh, okay.
And anything that deviates from reality is reality that has filtered through your senses. And I think art at its highest is exactly that. If this was an exact depiction of reality, it would be a photograph, and I don't need the artist.
Okay.
So even photographs that take you to a slightly other kind of dimension as you gaze upon them, it's more than what was actually going on at the time. And that's art taken to the craft of photography.
That's why you like it?
That's one of the reasons why. Plus, I think it was the very first painting where its title is the background. Think about that. This could have been called, in the full painting, obviously this is a snippet.
Town.
Yeah. So there's a town there, there's a cypress tree, there's a church steeple. It could have been called Cypress Tree. It could have been called Sleepy Village. It could have been called Rolling Hills. But no, it's called Starry Night. And everything in front of it is just in the way. And how often do you paint something where the title is the background? That's my point. And in this particular case, the background is the universe. And so for me, this was a pivot point in art. And it's 1889, which is recent given the history of paintings and that go all the way back. So, yeah, there it is.
Is that your favorite painting ever?
I have to say yes.
You're the best in a phone call. If it's not, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I have 4 or 5 ties that have this painting on them in different ways. Yeah, so
Well,
I'm all in. I'm all in.
What's interesting is that the town is...
Wait, have you seen Starry Night in bacon? Somebody did. Look, dig it up on the screen. Somebody did it in bacon. It's just crazy.
How weird.
Yeah, so... Yeah.
Go back to the original one, please. What's interesting about the original one is that the town is realistically depicted. The trees are recognizable as trees. If you ever saw a sky that looked like that, the end would be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Those
Plus,
are
that
end
swirling
times.
is
Yeah.
not wind and it's not clouds, because if it was clouds, you wouldn't see the stars.
Right. What is it?
It's how he felt. That's all I can tell you. By the way, that is a real evening. So it's not even the evening. It's early morning. The crescent moon, when it's that orientation, means this is before sunrise. And that white object lower on the horizon, that's sort of glowy, that's very likely Venus. And that enables us to trace over what set of weeks this painting was actually painted. So it's kind of like forensic astronomy.
Has anyone done an analysis of like where he must have been?
Yeah, that's well known. Yeah, he was in a real place.
And so that
He didn't
really
pull this
would
out
be-
of his ass, right? I mean, it was
Right.
he painted what he saw, folded into what he felt. Yeah,
heavy.
that's how art should be, I think.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what do you need artists for?
Make cool shit.
The cool stuff is something that they felt and it came out of them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they feel stuff. Artists feel the natural world in ways different from the rest of us, and that's why they're artists.
Do they, or do they just express it with?
Oh, sorry. Yes,
More-
they not only
more
yes, we
skill.
all can feel it, but to be able to express it, that's a whole other talent.
Right. Just.
And you know what I think about often? Why do we all know who Paul Revere is? Right? We it's a household name. Yet, is there any other war ever fought in the history of the world where a household name is the name of the person who told other people the enemy was coming? We can mention his name, but we can't list the generals that all fought in that war. Why? It's because a poem was written about him. And he had this mundane job, let me tell people the enemy is coming. And so the artist, in this case the poet, elevated the mundane to something that forces you to reckon with your understanding of this world. What's Joyce Kilmer's most famous poem? It's about a tree Dogs piss on trees. You drive by trees, you don't even know they're there. Yet a poem about a tree. I'll never see something as lovely as a tree. Oh my gosh. So the art forces you to pause and just reflect on things that you took for granted, things that became ordinary in your life, and they were elevated they get beatified by the talents of art.
That's a word?
Oh, beatify? You never knew that
No.
word? Beatify, yeah, I'm using it loosely. It's the intermediate step between being an ordinary person and being a saint. The beatification of someone in the Catholic Church.
I would have thought it's making something more beautiful.
Oh, maybe. Okay, I don't. It could have similar roots. Be youth. Yeah. It could come from that. But to be beatified is the first steps en route to sainthood. Yeah. That's if I remember the word correctly.
Here goes.
Oh, you got it.
Pulled it up. Definition: to make supremely happy, Christianity declare to have attained blessedness of heaven and authorized the title blessed, and limited public religious honor. She was beatified 6 years after her death.
Yeah, so I think you can't become a saint unless you've previously been beatified. I think that's the rule. But I'm looking at the number one definition there, to make supremely happy. So that's interesting. Yeah, that moved ahead of it.
Definition of beatified.
Yeah.
It's a weird
So
word.
to beatify, wait, the verb was up there. You had on the screen. Roman Catholic Church. He beatified Juan Diego, an Indian believed to have a vision of a Virgin Mary. Synonyms: canonize, sanctify, hallow, consecrate. So I think if you take something ordinary and you subject it to the interpretation of an artist, it can be beatified and elevated on a level where it becomes a household recognition of its importance in this world. So
Okay,
my brother's an
follow you.
artist. My brother's an artist. So I have
What kind of art?
fine art, but also he paints and he teaches history of art. So I've had this sort of baptism my whole life, being exposed to him. I'm the sibling scientist, but they have an artist in the family. Everyone should have an artist in the family.
I've got an uncle.
And of course, the whole STEAM movement, science, technology, engineering, and math. The artists got in there and say, wait, so the STEM movement, science, technology, engineering, math, they want to throw in the A to get art as part of that movement. Science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Change it from STEM to STEAM.
It's a STEAM, so you get full steam ahead. STEAM is a better word in that. Well, they're both good words for what they need, but
That just sounds like a bunch of awesome stuff. Like
it does, and yeah.
Why not throw in comedy and building houses? You know, it seems like you're getting it's like the LBGTQAI. Like things get really squirrely when you start adding more letters.
Yeah, you can add letters, but if it doesn't spell anything, then the memorization has to kick in. But STEAM, you don't have to memorize that. It's already there for you.
Right.
Yeah, so it's cleverly conceived. I think the abbreviation was its tacit recognition that these are elements in society that advance civilization and grow the economy, actually. So, in fact, there's hardly any growth economy in the world that isn't growing because it has been for not having been touched by science or technology. Everything. Just think about it. So if you're around running, you don't have them on your show, but if you're running around saying, I don't like science, science is bad, science is evil, okay, well then you will die in poverty if you elect officials who believe that as well.
Who the fuck thinks that science is bad in 2019? And how do they express this? Do they express it through science?
Okay, so
You know what I'm saying? Like, are they saying it online?
I have a book coming out in a month called Letters from an Astrophysicist. Okay, yeah, it's not out yet.
But I've got it.
It's not. How did you get a copy?
But I
don't even have my copy yet.
But I got
okay. What I'm saying is, in there, there's a whole chapter on just angry people who don't like anything, including science. And one of them, it's a riff. He just says, I hate that science, and that science is bringing some of the worst things that's ever happened to humanity, and pollution, and this goes on and on. And so I reply. It's Letters from an Astrophysicist, and I reply as calmly and as rationally as possible when you get attacked that way. But what I'm saying is, not everyone embraces everything that science does, and some will cherry pick it. You have the science deniers for global warming. You have science deniers with vaccines. You have science deniers with GMOs. There's all manner of science denying going on in modern society, and we in a free society, what are you going to do, right? People can think what they want. But if thinking what they want influences policy, which then affects everybody, then your science denial has consequences to the economic health of the nation. And by the way, it's not only economics, the economic health, it's your physical health, because medicine flows through advances in science, as well as our security.
Well, there's people that deny some aspects of science while conveniently using other. That's where it gets weird, right? You're driving a car that's relying on GPS. You're using a phone to complain about the global warming hoax. You know,
Correct. One of my more sort of popular tweets was, you remember when we had the photo of the black hole from a distant galaxy, and it was banner headlines, maybe a year ago, less than a year ago, banner headlines, and first photo ever of a black hole, and it was an astounding engineering achievement to accomplish that. It was multiple telescopes all around the world pooling the data to get it right, and it was one of the greatest collaborative efforts we've ever undertaken in my field of astrophysics. Okay, and everybody was loving the results. So all I tweeted was, scientists report first photo of a black hole. Public. Scientists report humans are warming the Earth. Oh, you brought it up, okay. Scientist, we produced the first ever image of a supermassive black hole 55 million light years away. The response? Ooh. Scientist, we've concluded that humans are catastrophically warming the Earth. Response, that conflicts with what I want to be true, so it must be false.
Well,
that is the cherry picking of science.
It is the cherry picking of science, but the global warming thing is very much connected to a certain type of ideology. A certain type of person who thinks themselves.
It doesn't matter to me.
No nonsense person.
What I'm saying, yes, it does matter. What I'm trying to say is, that is a demographic that has cherry picked science to deny human-caused global warming. There are other demographics that have cherry-picked other science to deny other things. And it's not all located in one political spectrum, in one political branch.
Right.
So you tend to find liberal folk complaining that the conservatives who have embraced no global warming platform are denying science, and they need science on their side. And many of those same people are rubbing crystals together to be healed by the crystal energy, or they're denying vaccines, thinking that they're somehow bad for you. And so all of this requires some or total rejection of mainstream science. And we're living in that world now. And I don't know, I don't think it'll stop the progress of civilization, but it can certainly slow it down and occasionally stall it.
Well, that is certainly a problem, but how big of a problem is it? Like, how many people are really in denial of science in 2019? And it's got to be,
for me, in a free country,
number.
That's not what matters. What matters is, in a free country, that you elect officials who are not.
Official.
Yes, you elect people who are scientifically literate.
Yes.
They don't have to be scientists. And if they're not scientifically literate, they should be self-aware of that, and then listen to people who are.
Right.
So,
don't you think what they're doing, though, is they're doing what their constituents would like them to do?
That's why I don't beat politicians over the head. Ever. I don't do that.